Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's still kind of Christmassy. I know it's not Christmas. But when we recorded this, it was Christmas Eve, and I know this is airing on the 27th. I guess it is Monday, the 27th. And I want to say Merry Christmas, past tense. Merry Christmas, I guess. I don't know. Today we're doing something fun. We're playing a bit of a game, a what if game, where we're going to show 6 characters that we would assemble if we were going to create our Avengers team. So each of us are going to show 6 characters that we would create for our team, and we're going to see if we can guess who is on the other person's team. So and then that will be on Mark's channel, where we show the whole who we guessed would be on the other person's team. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to let Mark show me his first character that's on his Avengers team.
Right. Okay. So first off here, I've stayed true to continuity, and my Avengers are all Marvel. Right. Now, when I said put together an Avengers team to Alan, I assumed that he would stick by the rules, but he hasn't. He has not only used Marvel, I think he's used DC, and I think he's got some independent character in there as well. So,
yes.
Okay, so just bear this in mind as we go through this, is that one of us has stuck to the sort of continuity rules and one of us hasn't. Anyway, okay. So the other thing is I haven't really done this as a show and tell, so I haven't generally got the comics for these people, but I'm going to talk about them a bit. So I think in any Avengers team, you need some muscle. You need a bit of power, right? Mm-hmm. So I've sort of constructed my team with different skills, and the first I've gone for is muscle, but also somebody who can fight all the legal challenges that the team may come up against. And therefore, my first pick, and I actually do have the comic for this one because it's sat behind me, is my first pick for my Avengers team.
Oh, my goodness.
Is She-Hulk. So, you know, she's my muscle and she's my legal representative, and she's going to deal with all the IP challenges that we're going to get from Alan's team for all the DC characters who are now appearing in the Avengers. Okay. So Shield's going to deal with all that litigation, and she'll only charge Alan about $100,000 an hour. Okay. So that's my first pick. It's She-Hulk. I've also, I've sort of thought about, you know, also movies here, you know. So I've also, you know, talking about actors, well, She-Hulk has already been cast. It's Titania Maslany. She looks pretty good in the sort of
the trailer.
In the trailers. So yeah. And the other thing that I've tried to do is get a mix of nationalities. Okay, so She-Hulk is my American in my team as well. So she fulfills a number of roles.
Wow. Okay, so I have a very similar pick. Very similar. She's on my team too, because my team is very 2020, 2021, 2022. It's the gender diversity team. It's all female team of Avengers. So I did a gender swap. The original Avengers team had Hulk. So who is the best gender swap for the Hulk? Well, She-Hulk, obviously. So, and you're right, she can handle all the legal stuff too. So when all the males sue for the fact that they're not being represented on the team, then she can handle those legal cases. So, so this is my pick too. I have my all-female team, and I put her on it. So that's funny that we have the same choice.
That's weird. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, we've both gone for She-Hulk.
Yep.
Well, okay. So my second pick with the females is that I think we're going for quite a lot of females in our teams. So my next pick, I'm afraid this is purely, you need a brawler. You know, you need a sort of street level brawler in the team.
Mhm.
And I'm going for Yelena Belova, the
The new one.
the new Black Widow. I think she was fabulous. The actress, what's her name? Florence Pugh was
Yeah.
fabulous in the. I think she was the star of the Hawkeye
Mhm.
television series for me.
Yep.
And you know, she's great on screen. She's a brilliant actress.
I find
She
her
was
very
in
humorous
Midsummer.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in Midsummer, the horror film. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So it's partly a pick about the actress as well as the character. So she is my second pick, and she's my brawler. And of course, she represents Russia. So we're putting
Yep.
together.
Oh, okay. So you got your international team. Okay,
Yeah, I'm
cool.
getting an international team together.
So I think our thought processes are very similar. So I always think of a brawler too, or somebody that doesn't have those magic powers that everyone else does. You know, Black Widow
Black
didn't have
Widow.
powers.
Yeah.
She's a brawler. She's like, you know, that fighter person. Well, I kind of want to switch out the team that I didn't want to have somebody that was the same as and you won't get this one because it's not Marvel, it's not DC, it's indie. Well, it's kind of indie. It's Golden Age girl. So this is she's a brawler, and you know she uses guns, and
Oh, it's Miss Mask.
Miss Mask. I also believe that every team should have a point, like sort of a useless person that's just sexy. And for me, Black Widow was that. She was just sexy and just sort of there. So for me, it's Miss Mask. You have to have that team mascot. So she's my girl for that. So you know, just a sexy girl.
And if I'd known in advance you were going to be using anybody you wanted, I would definitely have picked Miss Mask to be in your team.
I have to pick her because I like her so much. So I picked her. She's my brawler, and she's my you know, token sexy girl.
So, I think that's a good pick. It's a perfectly valid pick for brawler. Right, my third pick is probably a bit controversial. So
okay.
I want somebody who's going to be a bit is that character you don't really trust in the team. You know, somebody who at any moment could possibly betray you and follow his own agenda instead of the team's agenda.
Okay, can I guess on this one? Just based on just that? I didn't have it on my list, so are you saying Loki?
No, Doctor Doom.
Oh, Doctor Doom. That's a good choice, actually. I didn't put any bad guys on my list that I guessed for you. So I was curious.
Well, Doctor Doom is he a bad guy? He's got a code of honor. He's very
you're right. Yeah.
He's been in superhero teams. He was in the Invaders, was he, or the Defenders? He was definitely been in and occasionally he does work alongside the Fantastic Four, always for his own agenda, but no,
he's a good choice.
And he's a man of honor, and he's just going to add that bit of what's he going to do next type thing. Is he going to do something a bit dastardly? And of course he represents Latveria, and he's always going to do whatever is necessary to protect his kingdom. So if we're being attacked by aliens or something, I've no doubt Doctor Doom would lend it. And the other thing that he adds is he's my mystic. He's my magical, character who connects to the mystic world and the powers of sorcery. So you always need somebody a bit like that. Now then, in terms of casting, he hasn't been cast for the MCU yet because he hasn't appeared. So my actor that I'm choosing to be my Doctor Doom is John Malkovich.
Oh, that's an unusual choice.
Yeah,
I don't really see him as a good Doctor Doom. Sorry, I don't.
Okay, well, that's I love John Malkovich. I think he's a great actor. You've got it for these sort of villainy type sort of, the Magnetos and the Professor X's. You've got to have a great classical actor So, I love John Malkovich. I think he's a great actor, and I think he could handle that sort of Doctor Doom, dichotomy of man of honor, but then, can betray all his mates. So, I know it's controversial casting.
Very controversial.
So he's the third member of my team. And he could get on a bit of the romantics with Yelena Belova. I can see them maybe.
So maybe a younger version of Malkovich.
Yeah.
He's a little bit old now. He's like in his 60s or something.
Yeah. He's behind a mask. You can't really see him, can you? So it's gonna be Malkovich's voice, not his face.
Okay. Because I'm thinking whenever I think of Doctor Doom, I think of somebody in their 40s, like early 40s, mid 40s. Because he's similar age to Reed Richards, right?
Yeah,
he's
that's
like
right.
They went to university together.
Yeah, a sort of early mature man.
Yeah. So I think of somebody like that. I don't know who I'd cast if I was trying to cast a Doctor Doom, but yeah, it wouldn't be John Malkovich. I don't know. That's such a weird choice. Okay.
Well, I'm sure people will let me know in the comments below what a good choice John Malkovich would be as Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. So, okay. So actually I had two choices. Actually, I was thinking the same lines. It's like we're thinking the same way. So I actually have my Mystic character too. She actually was an Avenger, like in one of the movies, I believe.
Yeah.
And that is Scarlet Witch. I was actually thinking of putting in Zatanna, but when you said, "Oh, make it more Marvel," I switched it back out. I actually had Zatanna, and then I switched it back to Marvel. So I was trying to help you a bit. Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, no, she's a really good choice. She was in the Avengers.
Yeah.
And so, she's a very, she's an extremely powerful mystic character.
I believe you have to have that overpowered person in the like most of my picks from now on are the overpowered characters. Just pure, like, make that one that is totally wimpy survive. You got to keep the wimpy one alive. So you put a whole bunch of overpowered characters that really don't need the help.
Alan, the rest of your characters are purely there to protect Miss Mask, aren't they?
Yes, purely. That's the only purpose. She has to look sexy, and the rest have to protect her. So this is my choice of one of those protectors. So Scarlet Witch, I think she's awesome because she taps into that whole magic part, and you got to have some magic on your team. There's always that magic point. So it's funny, we're thinking the same lines. It's really weird. So
my fourth one is my leader. Okay. You need somebody who is going to bring the team together, who's going to deal with the rebellious ones and the ones who were going to do something a bit wrong. And I have chosen Captain Britain. So yeah, Captain Britain, but specifically being played by Henry Cavill.
Okay, I would agree with that. I could see that choice. I agree with that choice. Okay.
So he's been Superman. He's been The Witcher. He's he's got good experience. He's got that square jaw.
Yeah, you have to have that kind of square jaw for Captain Britain, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's he's got his. He can. You also need a flyer. You need somebody who can fly and scout and things like that. So, plus, of course, he's British. So now we've got, we've got an American, we've got a Russian, we've got a Latvian, and we've got a Brit.
Cool. So you got the whole your United Nations of Avengers.
United Nations of Avengers. So yeah, and I'm British, so we're gonna have Captain Britain leading the team, trustworthy, reliable, brings a bit of calm while everything else is going wrong. Okay.
So that's a really interesting one. I want to bring my comparative to that. Like, I do have a team leader that I brought. And I actually kind of wanted somebody that's kind of a replacement for Thor. So I wanted to a little bit switch out the original team. So Scarlet Witch wasn't on the original team. So that's
No.
why I thought she was okay to bring in. But I brought somebody who is that godlike. You know, you always have to have that godlike character. And I think she could be a leader. So it's Wonder Woman, sort of that godlike character that can just, again, somebody that could do it all by themselves. I think she can be a team leader. She's got some presence.
Oh no, she can definitely.
She's got the military skills. She's she led the Amazons. So I think she's got a bit of that leadership quality. You always have to have one leader, right? But she's also another overpowered character that can protect Miss Mask. So we got to keep that theme of protecting Miss Mask, because when they go up against some godlike power, like Miss Mask is the first one that's just going to get obliterated. So we have to have ultra powerful characters to protect her. So so she can be sexy. So we got Wonder Woman here. So that's
but choice. Wonder Woman can be sexy too, Alan.
Oh yeah. I mean, my whole goal is to keep all the characters sexy, but different levels of sexiness, right? So we got Wonder Woman again, another awesome godlike protector. So that's my choice. So that's my first four. And I guess we're gonna do the last two on your channel and see how close we were about guessing each other's lists. I think I totally failed about your list based on the ones you said so far. Actually, it was so funny. Like one of the ones, I was so close. I thought, oh man, I just have to change a little bit and then I would be right. Thanks again, Mark, for coming on my show. And everyone, please check out Mark's channel for the finale of this episode, where we will reveal what we thought the other person would choose and our last two picks for our Avengers teams. Anything else you want to say, Mark, before we go?
No, not happy Christmas. Happy New Year, and keep enjoying the holidays.
Happy New Year, everyone.